Okay, sorry for the break. My memory ran out, I guess. So we'll just pick it up where I think I left off. Anyway, Reagan said something to me, and like I said, I don't remember what he said. But it was one of those moments, and you hear about these people, that when they say something to you, you feel like you're the only one in the world. And he was like that. He had such a presence about him. He had that engaging smile that I as I started paying attention to him later on, he just had a wonderful way about him. And that moment had such an effect on me that it kind of began my turning around. And I thought, well, this guy, and I don't even remember if I said anything back to him. And a really cool moment of my life, and I have just a bare memory of it. Uh, but I remember thinking, well, gosh, this guy doesn't seem like the buffoon that everybody is talking about. And well, he was running for the Republican um, uh, spot there in '76, running against Gerald Ford, and he lost to Ford, but then Ford lost to Carter, whom I voted for because I was an idiot, and uh, and that started a real downhill here in this country, and then Reagan came back and won in '80. Well, anyway, that kind of started me paying attention, and for the first time I started paying attention to politics and what was going on and what people were saying and what people were, whether or not their words matched their actions. And prior to that, I'd just been one of those guys. Ours is not the reason why. Ours is but the do and die type of guys. And we don't question things. We just go out there and blah blah blah. We're not political. Well, that's crap because you're. Excuse me for saying that on this, but you are enforcing political decisions, and to be the hammer, the unthinking hammer that enforces laws that are passed for sometimes idiotic or selfish or very strange reasons, there's no room to hide in there as far as I was just following orders. Anyway, so I started paying attention, and that began my turnaround. And so I say that many people are like that. They don't have a clue. They don't know why they think what they do. It's too much trouble. It's too much. It takes too much energy to actually pay attention, to understand what's going on in the world, to understand how this country is going, how the government is supposed to work, and what's really going on. And so they just kind of they go with the flow. They go the easiest path. It's just like water. It follows the path of least resistance, and that's pretty much as firm as a lot of people are in this world. They're about as firm as water. Uh, and so you have the ones who have their hands out, and that's darn near half this country. And then you have the ones who are just stupid and don't know. And then you have the ones that have kind of gotten the they've had the truth shared with them, or they've had it at least made available to them, but it's just too much trouble. It's just too much mental and emotional trouble for them to really think about it and to stand up and have an opinion and try to you know try to participate in bettering what's going on. And then you have a really small, as far as I'm concerned, a very small segment of the people who are tuned in, who understand what's going on and have the backbone and the guts to stand up and make a stand, not just on the big things, but on a daily basis, who will push back when somebody says something stupid or when somebody, starts floating these idiotic socialist ideas around instead of just laying back and going, well, I don't want to make anybody mad. That they'll stand up and take it to them and start to educate these people. But there's not very many of those. One of the reasons that I say that this country is doomed is because, as I mentioned in a couple of videos, I think, I spent enough time inside the monster. Now, I never made it to high levels. I never wanted to be honest. Um, but I spent enough time in there in situations that allowed me to see how big this monster is that they call the deep state or whatever they want to call it. It is a Medusa of a million heads. You can cut off a head and two will grow back, and it is beyond, in my opinion, it is beyond fixing. You know, we have had a couple of chances here in the last years that we thought maybe things might get a little bit better. And I know a lot of people felt that Trump would, and I like Trump. I think that he's done well. I think he's probably doing as well as he can. I reserved judgment for a long time on him. But I like the fact that he's a fighter. He is a fighter, and I don't know. Maybe we'll find out that he just it's all a game. But who knows? I don't think so. I hope not. But I don't think there's any chance of fixing it. I know that people have latched on to this anonymous or Q or whatever like that, and just thinking that there's going to be somehow this is all going to we're going to get these bad guys and we're going to prosecute them. They're going to be in jail and they're going to be it's not going to happen. It will not happen. I guarantee it. It's going to keep devolving. This country will keep devolving. I'm sorry to have to say this, and maybe I'll make some people mad. I don't know. But it's important so that we have a positive coming out the other end, and I'll say that in a minute. This country is going to keep devolving because I think that it's past that point of no return until it just fragments or dissolves or implodes. And I don't think there's anything that can be done with it at this point. It's gone too far. What can be done is each of us individually. And it's time to start thinking. And others have said this before. And this isn't original to me, and I don't make any pretense that it is. It's time to get serious about that this thing is going to get worse and worse and worse. And I don't care if the economy gets better here for a couple of years. That's short term. It's going to get worse and worse. And everybody needs to be real serious because the vast majority out there won't be serious, right? Half of them have their hand out. Half of them are too stupid to understand. The ones that are smart enough to understand aren't paying attention and won't stand up. But for those of you who will, start getting a lot more serious about taking care of yourself, being able to not just survive, but do well through this devolution as this situation goes down and down and down and down, so that you can separate yourself as much as possible from what's happening. I know that there are people out there that talk about, Joe Fox over on Viking Preparedness, he has a saying, he says, come out of her, my people. Well, that's, that I will agree with that in that, separate yourself from having to rely on this world around you, because this world around you is going down the toilet, okay? You need to develop your world, your personal world, beginning with you and your family, God-centered, and the people around you, to be able to withstand whatever happens, and that is economic, political, whatever. And I'm going to get into different ways of addressing this on the Patreon channel. I'm not going to do it here. And I don't have that many people over on Patreon, so it's not, but that's the only place I'm going to put some of this stuff, because I don't really feel comfortable putting some of it on YouTube here. But this thing is, it's going down. It's going down slowly. It may continue to go down slowly, or it might hit a point to where it just takes a dive, and you got to be ready. Stock your money, stock your supplies, stock your skills, and strengthen that group that you've got, because you're going to need it. Okay? Well, I don't think that this was really a downer, because it should be seen as a positive. No matter what happens in the world, you should be positive about building the things that are under your control, and you can do it if you just get busy and start doing it. So with that, have a great day. Look at this positive road ahead of you and put some more energy into what you're doing as far as preparing to live separately from those many interdependent systems over which you have no control, so that no matter what happens, you and your family are going to do fine. And remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.